Eric, and I'm going to try to do a pull request to the CodeYear interest group GitHub project, and hopefully I won't screw up. So the first step here is I'm looking at the LibraryCodeYear's version of this project, and I want to fork it to my own GitHub account. So if I hit fork, it will ask, hey, do you want to fork it to your username? And I'll go ahead and do that. And right away, it has this nice little fork in a scanner animation, and bam. Suddenly I'm there, and you can tell now it's my username, and it notes that it was forked from this other project. So now I have a GitHub copy of this GitHub repository, but I want a local Git copy as well. So what I'm going to do here is copy this URL in there, and I'm going to use that in the git clone command. So I'm going to switch over to my terminal here. Your terminal will doubtless look different than mine. It's just something that you can customize and can be very variable. So mine shows me sort of where I am is the only important part to know in there. So I'm in this test folder, and I'm going to run the git clone command, and I can paste in that big URL that I just copied. And when I do that, it clones it right in, and now if I list out the contents of this folder, I can see that there's this new folder that's there, and I can change my directory to go into it. So I'm going to do cd and then start typing CodeYear, and I just tab complete it and go right inside. And now I'm inside a Git repository. And if you're ever wondering about that, you can do git status, and it will come back as an error if you're not in a Git repository, but I ran git status and it says I'm on this particular branch and I haven't changed anything. That's what that second message means. Nothing to commit, working directory clean. So I'm going to add my name to the list of people. The first thing I need to do is sort of get my bearings and find where that list is. So I list out everything. I see that there is a getting started folder. I'm going to go ahead and get inside that. And there is the list of people, listofpeople.mdown. So what I can do is open that up in my text editor. So you could always just find it on the file system using your text editor's open command. I just open things from the command line with a quick little shortcut I have. And here is the list of people. So I'm going to go ahead, and it says add your name and a link to your GitHub account. And I'm going to say Eric Pettiplace, and then I'll give my GitHub account name, and I'll make that into a link to, I think it's just github/vet23. And I'll hit save, and I should be all set. And now if I switch back to my terminal and run git status, I'll see something a little bit different. It says that I've modified a file. So first thing I do is take the advice of this little tip here, use git add file to update what will be committed. So I'm going to add it to the list of things that I'm going to commit. And then if I run git status again, now you see changes to be committed, and it shows that it's in there. So this is on my list of things that I'm actually going to commit to my local Git repository's history. So let's go ahead and run git commit, and then I'm going to put a flag on this command. So I'm going to say -m, which stands for message, and I'll write in my message, which will just be adding my name. Okay, and it gives me a nice little message that I added something. If I run git status, I'm sort of back to that original nothing has changed state, but it does show that my branch is ahead of origin master. Now that origin master, that is the remote GitHub repository. That's the repository that lives on GitHub, and it has a different set of changes, so it says that I'm ahead of it by one commit. If I do git log, I can tell that my command was added to the log. So there it is right there, that first thing, adding my name. And that didn't used to be there when I pulled down the repository originally. Now I'm going to git push, And what that will do is push my local changes to GitHub. And if I do that, you can see that it says, hey, pushed it to GitHub 23. And now if we go back to my web browser quickly, and remember I'm looking at my version of it, not the CodeYear version. Just refresh, make sure that it's going to be current here. If we look at that list of people, that didn't used to be there. I just made something change on the internet. That's pretty cool, huh? But there's one more thing that I need to do, and this is the pull request. So this is how I get changes from my GitHub account into the LibCodeYear account. So I'm going to click pull request, and it sort of fills in. It can kind of tell what I'm trying to do here because I forked it from LibCodeYear. It says, hey, is this the base one that you want to push your changes into? And indeed it is. So I'm just going to write a little title. So I'm going to say add my name to the list of people. I've added my name to the list of people. I hope this works. And then you click send pull request and you get yourself a nice cold beverage because we actually just committed to a project on GitHub. So that's pretty cool. And right now it'll mark as open, and on the other end somebody from LibraryCodeYear will come in and accept that change, and we'll be able to see it in the actual LibraryCodeYear version of this repository. And that is committing to a project on GitHub.